Hey guys, what's up? I'm Kai, and this is my Audi S4. Now, I don't think you guys understand how disappointed I am to make this video. It was just one video ago where I was telling you that this is my dream car. The thing is, my brother has an A4, and he has a previous generation. And he loves my car because this is basically the sportier, newer version of his car. When his car blew up, we were thinking he was gonna get a new one. But no, I'm giving him my car. I'm still gonna be able to drive it. It's still gonna be in my videos, but I'm getting a new car and it's kind of crazy. So the car that's replacing my dream Audi is none other than a C43 AMG, the one that people consider the fake AMG because it's not a real built AMG engine. But honestly, come on guys, does it matter? This is a 3-liter V6, that's a 3-liter V6. This is a twin scroll turbo, that has a twin turbo. Am I really losing anything in power? Maybe a little bit in sound, definitely. But when you see the car, you'll understand that it may not be giving away as much as you might imagine. Jesus. Oh, you hear that? All right, so enough about the talk. We're actually gonna go drive and see the car and pick it up. I test drove it yesterday. And I found this car online 2 days before that. So I really don't know much about this car. But the Carfax report came back with 0 accidents, and the tires have been replaced, which is funny. The front are Bridgestone, the back are Continental, kind of weird. And it's at a BMW dealership. Thing is, I'm not losing much in case of power, and it's all-wheel drive with a rear bias 70/30. So I heard I'm gonna be a little bit tail happy with this one. And then it has twin turbo, so it's gonna be fun to mod. I think intake's probably the first we're gonna do, if not exhaust, because I love my exhaust and I want something as loud, if not louder. Man, I need to just stop talking and let me show you guys the car. All right, so I picked it up about an hour ago and went through traffic, but let me show you. I got some floor mats for it because the previous owner had some crappy floor mats, but just wait. Here she is. This is my new car. So, replacing the Audi, from now on, I got this thing. It's a C43 twin turbo V6. It's a coupe. And I have a lot planned for this car. I'm gonna throw these mats in though and get back to you. Here is the C43 AMG. Alright guys, here's the car. And there's something that happened. It's been 4 days since the last clip you saw. Not the last one, but the one of me at the dealership. For the first 2 days, I was too excited and I just drove this car and had fun. And then for the other 2 days, I was in Oregon, and that's kind of far away. I didn't bring this car. And so this car sat for 2 days, got a little bit dirty. But I got to drive it. I got to drive it in the first rain of, I think, in a month. I got to race the Audi. Yeah, so I'm just gonna try to make this short and simple. I'm gonna do a full review on the car later on because there's just so much to cover. So first is what I thought I was missing out on. What I thought I was missing out on in this car was gonna be power and sound. So let's start with power. I put it up against the Audi. And I told you that Quattro has always done the best in digs, especially in the Northwest where I'm from. It gets very rainy, and so the Audi was the best, especially in wet conditions. And I put it up to the first race we had. We had this lined up next to the Audi at a stoplight. We're not gonna do a brake boost launch control. We were just gonna hit it right when the light turns green. Neck and neck. We couldn't have been any more close. Neither of them were starting to take on. It's literally exactly the same. We were going up a slight slant, and this car's 100 pounds lighter, and so I was like, okay, Audi might actually be more powerful. Got me worried. So then the second one was a rolling from 30, and that's when I was expecting to lose. This thing won by a lot. Like I'd say at least a car length, maybe 2, which was just driving the Audi. I was not expecting that. And so finally I said, okay, I know I'm gonna lose if we do a dig on boost, let's do it. So we line up at that road you saw in my last video where everyone treats it like the Autobahn. We hit it and I took him probably half a car's length, if not a car's length. And I was thoroughly impressed because that all-wheel drive system on the Audi has never seemed to fail me. And somehow I beat it. So I guess the twin turbos really just shot down to the ground and it was dry and the tires were hot. So I guess I was lucky. But second was sound. The sound at idle, when I heard it, I was like, okay, this thing is quiet. But there's actually a button inside that opens up your exhaust. And still at idle, it's a lot quieter than the Audi. But once you go above 2,000 RPM, this thing is, I cannot believe it's stock. It's called the AMG Performance Exhaust. Previous owner paid for it, but this thing is loud and has gunshot pops. The shifts are twice as loud as the Audis, if not more. Because it's a coupe, back seats down, you can hear the exhaust all the way through the body, and it's just, man, this car is insane. Now, there's a lot to cover, so I'm just gonna try to shoot to the interior, give you the bare minimum here. On the interior, we're gonna cover that sound first. Previous owner installed a dash cam, and it just takes random photos, and so I tried to find the brand, and I couldn't, and so it's kind of sketching me out. I'm gonna try to get that removed, but it's built into the system. The guy bought a part so that it's built in. But the interior itself has this beautiful red leather. All the materials in this car are great. You got brushed aluminum, stainless steel, all your seat controls right here. You have ambient lighting just about everywhere. I'll do a night drive at some point and show you guys. But sadly enough, I've never found a car with as good build quality as the Audi in the performance zone, of course. I mean, you look at Toyota and you're never gonna have something fail, but just, you got creaks everywhere. Like, just, it's everywhere. And I know this isn't the biggest deal, but it's still a bit annoying knowing that the Audi would barely ever have any problems. Well, I've seen these things fall off. I've seen the AMG badge fall off on some of these things. Not on this car. This car was grandpa driven, and there's not a single scratch. There's a couple dings up there, but those can easily be fixed. But this car itself, I mean, heated and cooled seats, ambient lighting, you got the CarPlay infotainment system. I kind of like that it's not a digital dash, although I do miss having all the information up there like the Audi. But yeah, so I'm just gonna try to keep this video short. My last video was definitely overdone. I had just so much to cover, and it was the first video, so obviously I wanted to push everything into one video, not have to make a part 2. So sadly I'm going to be making a part 2. This is going to be the car I'm driving from now on. I'm sad that I had to give the Audi to my brother, and that was my dream Audi, but this thing right here is going to be taken over, and I can make up to 720 torque on stage 1 plus, which is insane. That's more than the Audi R8 stock. This thing is just going to be so fun to work on and build. I'm obviously going to have to do a part 2, but I think maybe we get one flyby and maybe a couple revs for you guys, and I'll do the outro. I just have to show you one more thing. One of my favorite things about coupes is looking at their side angle, like the BRZs. I love them from the side. This thing is so long, and I'll have to put the wheelbase of a sedan side by side to this in the next video, but this thing just looks like a Batmobile from the side. It's like, it's not, you know, it's stock, so it's obviously not too low, but it just looks cool. And one of my favorite cars out there is actually a BMW M8 Competition, and those things are long, and so I get a small taste of it. Very, very small taste of it, but you know, it's still, I love coupes and I love Mercedes in general. I now own a Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. So I've got a good experience of each German competitor, and let's just get to it. So obviously they weren't the best flybys you've heard, but the revs, they're also all right. I think I'm gonna have to cover a lot more about this car, and maybe do a couple POV drives. I normally have 3 cameras filming, so should be some good POV drives for you guys. Comment down below if you think I should do one before that full review of this car. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, then like it. If you have any more opinions or ideas on this car, don't be afraid to comment. Please subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace.